Welcome to Reuters Insider, the Baltic Development Forum in Vilnius. Scandinavian banks here suffered heavy losses in the Baltics, where economies shrank by double-digit figures in 2009. And Lithuanian Prime Minister made a chilling admission last week, saying that his country may become the new Greece. For the Baltic prospects, to discuss it, I'm joined by Head of Baltic Banking at the biggest lender in the region, Swedbank, Hakan Berg. Mr. Berg, Swedbank expects a profit at a group level this year. What about the Baltics? Will you be profitable in the Baltics?
Well, we haven't commented on that. What we have commented in the first quarter is that we see the risks are coming down, and if nothing dramatically is happening, we expect that to continue. But exactly when in the future we will be back in black numbers is difficult to say.
So you don't even have projections about when you may return to profits in the Baltics?
Internally, of course, we have, but we're not disclosing that to the market.
Okay. Do you see the Baltics have come out of the woods? Is the worst over?
The worst is definitely over. I think you can be quite impressed by what has happened in the three Baltic countries during the last 12 to 18 months. I think I think it's a little bit too early to say we're out of the woods. There are still challenges. Looking to the surrounding world, that of course is impacting the Baltic countries as well. I think it's fair to say that there are still challenges ahead.
Do you see any potential problems for the region from the Greek crisis?
It's very difficult to say. I mean, the Greek crisis in specific maybe doesn't have a direct impact, but since this may impact Europe as a whole, and of course the Baltic countries are very involved in Europe, that may have an impact.
What is your lending policy now in the Baltics? How conservative is it?
We haven't, in principle, we really haven't changed the lending policy through the crisis. Obviously, the demand last year was extremely low due to the contraction of the economy. We do see this year some positive signs, and there are anecdotal evidence that the economy is picking up, especially within the export sector. But the domestic demand is still fairly low.
Are you coming under any pressure from the Baltic governments to increase lending, to lend more than you want to?
We have continuous discussions with the government on a very good level and very informative level. And I think we have a common understanding on the different responsibilities with the different stakeholders. Speaking
about credit policy, do you want to grow your market share in the Baltics, to keep it stable, or to shrink it?
We want to. Well, we don't want to shrink it. Obviously, we have different market shares in different countries. So, depending on the starting point, we are defending our market share, or we would like to increase or keep it stable. It's a little bit different.
So do you see Baltics as your home market, or do you eventually plan to cut back your activities here?
No, this is one of our four home markets, Sweden being the fourth one. So we're here long term, and we're here to make business and to cooperate in developing the country to a sustainable growth.
What are still the major risks? For example, bad loans, do you see that situation may deteriorate?
We think we have a good control over our lending portfolio today. Obviously, if things are getting worse in the environment, that of course will impact the credit portfolio. But in general, as we mentioned in the first quarter report, we think the worst is behind.
Do you see any risk of the devaluation in Latvia and Lithuania, especially if they are not successful in completing their budget cut program?
We haven't commented on that before, and that is purely the responsibility of the governments. I mean, we are coping with whatever situation that may come up. Having said that, looking to what is currently happening in Estonia, I think it's fair to say it seems that the risk is decreasing.
But finally, we've seen that Lithuanian Prime Minister's statement that Lithuania may become the new Greece if it doesn't fulfill that budget cuts program. Are you worried that Latvia or Lithuania may become the new Greece?
from what we have seen the last 12 to 18 months, it seems the governments are taking responsibility and are acting quite forcefully to deal with the problems and mitigating the crisis. So we have full confidence in what is happening in the countries.
Thank you very much. Hakan Berg, head of Baltic banking at Swedbank here in Vilnius. Join me for more interviews from the Baltic Development Forum. In about 15 minutes, we'll speak to the chief executive of Dong Energy, the Danish energy giant. Here in Vilnius, I'm Kiryl Sukhotski. This is Reuters.